Hello and welcome, Andy Wright Travel and also Andy Wright UK Travel video here, which is talking about the UK visa for those people who want to come here and live here. And this is for foreigners who do not have any sort of link to the UK. Maybe they have a spouse or a boyfriend or somebody who is going to be living here in the UK, and it's going to help them to come and spend lots of money, because let's not misjudge this whole situation. It is entirely about money in the end of the day, and the majority of it goes to the government. They're going to make it extremely difficult for you to come here and live. You're going to have to go through hoops. You're going to have to qualify for various things, such as a English qualification, IELTS, and it's going to have to be certified in a certain way, and also you're going to have to apply for a certain type of visa. So if you're married, obviously marriage visa. If you want to come here and get married while you're here, then obviously that's a different visa. If you're already married, you want to come and live here long term, then obviously that's another visa. So yeah, lots of things to worry about. Now, of course, there are many people out there who have done this before and had no problem whatsoever. Unfortunately, in my case, the UK immigration decided that they would let my wife come one time for a visit. She went home, and the following year we applied again on advice for another visa. In fact, it was the same visa we applied for with the same paperwork and everything, and it was refused. Basically, they made up 3 excuses, which, to be fair, you could argue all the way through. You could provide evidence to show the reasons that they're given were incorrect and were justified. Well, not justified, rather. And of course, there's no right to appeal on a visa for a visit. Now, luckily, there is one for a normal visa, because obviously you're spending a lot more money, so they have to give you some sort of feedback avenue. It's not good, it's not quick, it's not easy. Now, obviously, in my case, I spent a couple of years going around the bushes trying to find a way to fight this, because I knew full well that these 3 reasons were false, and I was being my wife was being targeted by UK immigration. All she wanted to do was come here to visit for 6 months or whatever and then go home. She'd done it before in 2015. She went home on time and no problem whatsoever. And of course we just thought, well, we took advice from a professional, and they said that there would be no problem, and there was. Anyway, roll on a few years. I believe it was about 2021 or 2, something like that. Anyway, whatever. It was quite late. She's speaking to another visa agent, and they said, well, why don't you try again? There's no reason for you not to get it. So try again. Go for a visit visa, because they're easy. And hey presto, you might get another visit. Anyway, long story short, she actually refused again, and the reason given was that she had been banned on the previous occasion for 10 years. Yeah, and of course they hadn't even bothered to tell us. So we wasted money, or I wasted money, applying for a new visa, knowing they knew full well that she wasn't going to be passed through. And of course, people out there are going, well, why didn't you apply for a marriage visa for her to come and live here? Well, that's a very good question, and of course it is going to be explained in this short video. So let's have a look at the video, and then we'll come back and finish off my part.
So how much does it cost to have a non-British wife live with you in the UK? The cost of the first visa, which we applied for when my wife was in South Korea, is £1,800. And then after 2.5 years, she had to extend her visa, which cost another £1,000. But it's not just the visa costs. You also have to pay, when you're on a spouse visa, you have to pay what's called a healthcare surcharge. And for the 5 years that she's been in the country, that's been £3,120. They also offer you the chance to get a faster decision if you pay £1,000. When we got the extension, we didn't do that as we weren't in a hurry, and we got the decision the next day. In a couple of months, my wife will be applying for what's called an indefinite leave to remain. That costs just under £3,000. In fact, I was just saying the other day how I've just got too much money sitting in my bank account, so I'm really pleased about paying that. There's also the biometrics fee. The Life in the UK test costs £50. That's assuming she passes the first time. She's also got an English exam, the IELTS test she has to take. That's £155. In fact, she had to take one of those for her first visa as well. So we'll double that to £310. In 5 years, I think she'll be able to apply for citizenship, which seems like a bargain compared to the rest at just £1,500. That takes us up to a total of £10,858. And of course, there are lots of other costs in there. Time for a start, travel costs, and I'm comfortable reading legalese, but if you're not, you're probably going to want to hire a lawyer for the applications. Lots of people think that because I'm a British citizen and our children have British passports, that my wife can just rock up and be a wife and mother. That is sadly not true. And in fact, this process has ripped many families apart. I ended up spending 4 months on my own in the UK, which obviously emotionally for me was pretty tough when my twins were just about 1 year old. But for my wife, she had to raise baby twins on her own for 4 months, which I'll forever be grateful for. So there you go. Having a non-British spouse in the UK is expensive business.
So as you saw, very, very expensive. And when you think about that, she has to also have a tuberculosis test as well, because coming from Thailand, that's what they make you do. And of course, tuberculosis have been quite rife in Thailand for many, many years. So we don't know if you've been exposed to it or not. So there we go. And of course, then you've got all the airfares and everything else you need to pay for to come and go. And as he said there, he was away from his wife for 4 months. I've been living apart from 9 years. We've been married for 9 years in a month's time. And we've lived together on and off when I go to Thailand, and also 6 months here in the UK. So basically you could probably say we've been living together in the same house for probably 1.5 years, 2 years out of 9. Now some other people might say that's quite good, because you know what living together is like. But that wasn't the plan. The plan originally was, when I was working really hard, I saved up loads of money. I did not expect to have no money left and not have a wife living with me here. That was the whole point. Anyway, so that's me moaning. But you can see that the whole immigration thing is a complete nightmare. If I wanted to fight it, it would cost me upwards of £6,000 to £10,000 plus. You cannot fight the government. They are putting clauses now. I know a friend of mine had a similar issue back in 2016, and he was able to go to tribunal and he won a tribunal. Now you can't do that. You cannot go to tribunal for a visa, for a visit visa. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's not put you off the idea, but if you don't have a lot of money, and the other important point about UK visas now is a minimum earning requirement for you as a sponsor. It's currently, I think, 29,000. So you have to be earning 29,000 plus in order to apply. And if you don't earn that, they will refuse you. Before that, it was 18,600. It's just gone up. And in actual fact, that's come down. Officially, it was a lot more than that. Before, I think it was like 38,000 that you're supposed to be able to earn. And of course, a lot of people have moaned about that, so they brought it down to 29,000. If you're on benefits, then you do get a discount, but it's going to be quite difficult to prove that you have the income to be able to support your wife just on that. And of course, she's not allowed to work until she gets here and gets the visa. And the visa is obviously the one where she can live here and work here. And the visit visa, she's not allowed to work or have any medical treatment. So you have to pay for that yourself if she obviously is ill. You cannot go to the hospital, cannot get help at the doctors. So basically, you're here alone with no support. Right, that's it. Have a very good day. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bear in mind that the majority of the viewers here are unsubscribed. We get a lot of, about 75% of views on this channel are actually from people who are not subscribed. Please support the channel because it does help YouTube as well. YouTube do not promote channels like this unless there is some activity, so help me out. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.